I'd like to see you waltz into Iran or India and tell them you're now a Christian nation. I'll bet you would be up for a military fight that you didn't expect, because they would know that your attempt would be first to overthrow their national philosophy, which is their national sovereignty. So, the United States of America, being Christian in its origin and founded upon the facts that God's very principles of justice, liberty, freedom, and righteousness undergird our country, as Americans, of which a greater percentage of the population are believers in God, we should count what we are engaging in as a battle between good and evil. This can't be a Republican or Democrat issue only. Let's look at the word reduce. Reduce's definition is to make or become smaller or less. Second definition is to bring by force or by necessity to some desired state or action. 3 is interesting, convert to another form. And I think that's the primary pressure that we are now outright witnessing, is converting us from officially a republic under law to a socialist democracy. Definition 6, because there were several definitions to reduce, was make lower in status. I think that is why there is so much international accord to see us become like all the other nations around the world. Number 9 is to weaken. 10, impoverish. I think you're getting the idea of the word reduction or reduce in our Declaration of Independence. On one side, there is their desire to reduce us to nothing of our former selves, while on our side there must be the necessity to elevate mankind's view of himself through our own willing subservience and our clear responsibility that we have to God, the one that comes with having those God-given rights as the endowment that we went over in part 1. Now, let's look at the definition of the words rights. It's interesting to note that rights are a matter, in its definition, are a matter of conduct. The definition is just, morally, or socially correct. Second definition is true, correct, or not mistaken. Less wrong, not wrong. And again, duty. A moral or legal obligation, a responsibility, the binding force of what is right, what is required of one. Interesting here is the payment to the public revenue, death duty, probate duty. A job or a function, the behavior due to a superior deference or respect. Fifth definition is the measure of an engine's effectiveness in units of work. That's interesting. This is a government by the people, for the people, made up of people. So, our government's effectiveness could be measured by its units of workability. I think we have some work to do on its engine. Sixth definition is the performance of church services due duty for. I do believe that God's, what God has set before us does come with rewards through obedience. I don't believe that that's working your way to heaven. I believe that that is a matter of faith. I believe it is a matter of distinct belief. And our faith is pinned on how much we are willing to carry forward. So it also is noted on or off duty, engaged or not engaged in one's work. But the definition of rights and duty is interesting, that in this third sentence of the preamble to the Declaration is right and duty appearing in the same sentence. But from their definitions we can see here that simply that they are nothing less than one and the same. A right is a duty, and a duty is a right. Both require right living today, or you will only act tomorrow, maybe. The definition of the nastiest word that there is in the world is procrastination. It'll steal your future and rob you of your destiny. Right and duty are inseparable from one another. Like God and Christianity are inseparable from our Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, and our Bill of Rights. Our endowment of rights, liberties, and our happinesses is to fulfill our duty by throwing off such government that would reduce us to some other despotic form, and to re-secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity. Government cannot separate us from our endowed responsibility. The Constitution of the United States of America clearly binds itself with the Declaration of Independence in its opening paragraph, further showing the interconnectedness of both historical documents forming the ideals or philosophy of our country. And we, the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Interesting that Montana's Constitution works in conjunction with the opening statement in our federal Constitution. And our federal Constitution's opening statement ties itself back to the endowment of the blessings of liberty, that it is our duty to preserve and secure not only to ourselves, but to our posterity. So let's go through some of the definitions of the words to the opening paragraph in our Constitution of the United States of America. We're going to look at the words, although there's a lot of words that appear in there, we're going to look at order, union, justice, tranquility, welfare, posterity, and ordain. Order, interesting to note, is the condition in which every part, unit, etc. is in its right place. Tidiness, a specified sequence or succession, an authoritative command, a state of peaceful harmony under a constituted authority. So you have a government that must be in order. You must have mindsets that are in order to form a more perfect union. Let's look at union. Union is defined as the act or instance of uniting, the state of being united, a whole resulting from the combination of parts or members, a political unit formed in this way. How about justice? Justice is, first definition is conduct, just conduct. Second is fairness. And the third definition is the exercise of authority in the maintenance of right. Interesting that our justice system is to preserve the avenues of socially and morally correct thinking. And its primary purpose of the justice system is protect us from those who don't.